Welcome to Book Selling University. I'm Devora Lansky, and in this workshop, you'll learn how to create an online course based on your book, your knowledge, or your expertise, and how this can help you to increase your income and your credibility. I'd like to take a moment to introduce myself. I've been marketing online since 1994 and working with authors full-time since 2007. I'm the best-selling author of more than 20 books on the topics of online book marketing and course creation, and I've taught thousands of authors across the globe. Since 2007, I've created over 30 online courses on the topics of online book marketing and course creation. And I'm really looking forward to sharing this workshop with you today. So here's what we'll cover today. We're going to talk about how you can boost your visibility and your book sales by offering online courses. You'll get tips on how to choose your course topic. We'll explore a simple way to create your course framework. And then we'll talk about course materials and the variety of course materials that you can create for your online courses. And we'll wrap up by talking about course content delivery systems. So let's get started. Having an online course will allow you to boost your visibility and your book sales. When people purchase books, they don't always read them, and many don't read them all the way through. They also don't glean as much as they could from your knowledge, simply by reading words on a page. It's also difficult to connect with your readers one-on-one because very few people will go out of their way to connect with the author. So you don't really know who your readers are in most cases. And on top of that, with a book, you typically only earn a few dollars on each sale. But with an online course, you can multiply your sales and connect one-on-one with your audience. You can earn 10, 100, or even 1,000 times what you earn from the sale of one book with the sale of an online course. Online courses typically sell for $27, $197, $497, even $997. And beyond the income, you can help a lot more people at a deeper level with an online course than you can with a book because you have them engaged, you have their attention, and you're offering them information beyond the written word. They're hearing, they're seeing, they're doing, and they're going to retain the information a lot easier, and they're going to feel more connected with you because you've brought the information to life. In essence, you're able to lift the words off the page of your book and encourage people to take action. Let's talk about how to choose the perfect topic for your online course. I'd like you to visualize an intersection, a three-way intersection, because the perfect topic of your course is one that meets at the intersection of your ideal audience and the challenges they face, your areas of expertise, and what you'd love to teach. And when you find the intersection of those three things, you've found the perfect course topic. It could be that your course will be based strictly on your book, or you may choose an aspect of your book or the overall topic of your book. So I'm going to be walking you through some exercises to help you identify that perfect course topic. And know that you're not limited to just creating one course. You can create multiple courses, or a series of courses, or courses that build on one another. But don't let that boggle your mind right now. Right now, focus on creating that first module of that first course, and everything can come from there. So step one is to identify your target audience. It's essential to know who your audience is, because then you can best serve them and help them meet the challenges that they face. Your target audience consists of people who want and need what you have to offer. And when you realize that, it will be easier for you to create your course and for you to promote your course because you're going to be helping more people. Many times people will wonder, who would want to take a course with me? But think about it. There are so many people who are eager, who are thirsty to learn what comes second nature to you. Your course can provide the solution to challenges that your target audience faces. The next step is to identify your areas of expertise. What's the topic of your book? What are your areas of expertise? What are your strengths? What are your interests? What experiences have added to your knowledge base? And in just a moment, I'm going to show you how to capture your ideas for each of these steps. Next, spend some time thinking and writing about what you'd love to teach. Because you can have knowledge on a topic, but it's not necessarily a topic that you'd want to teach. So you want to teach on a topic that you're passionate about, that you're excited about, that you know your ideal audience would benefit from. What would you love to teach based on your area of expertise and the needs of your audience? Give thought to how your students will benefit as a result of participating in your course. The solution you offer, you can shortcut their journey. They could spend months or years trying to figure it out on their own, or you can guide them and show them how to complete a task or achieve their goals in a fraction of the time. So let this guide you as you consider a topic for your course. So here's an exercise that you can go through to help you capture the ideas that you've been thinking about in those 3 steps. So take a piece of paper and divide it into 3 columns. Label the first column with ideal audience and their challenges. Label the middle column with my area of expertise, and label the third column with what I'd love to teach. And then start writing without censoring yourself, without stopping yourself. Just write. Get the ideas out on paper. Then once you've gotten the ideas onto paper, circle items that meet all 3 criteria. That's that intersection we're talking about. The needs of your audience based on your area of expertise on a topic that you'd love to teach. And that's going to help you identify the perfect topic for your course. And if you come up with more than one idea, you can decide which course you're going to focus on first, and then decide if you'll be creating additional courses from there. Now, here's a word of caution. So if you're thinking about different things or multitasking, stop for a moment and come back, because this is important. It's not uncommon when people start to create a course that they start to think of all of these courses that they want to create, or packing a course with so much information that it would cause information overload in their students. What you want to do is narrow it down to the one topic you want to teach first, and have a page in your notebook or on a clipboard where you label that page Ideas for Future Courses. Then when those ideas come across your mind, you can jot them down so you don't lose them. Then you can focus back in on the course that you're currently creating. And I believe this will really help you in moving forward and in not feeling overwhelmed or distracted. The next step is to create your course outline and your course content framework. And the exercise I'm going to share with you is going to make it really easy for you to design your course content. And this is a process that you can rinse and repeat for each of your modules and for each of your future courses. Once you've gone through the intersection exercise and have come up with a topic for your course, you want to create your course outline and your course framework. Now, if you're creating your course from your book, and let's say your book has 23 chapters, you do not want to create a course with 23 modules. The ideal length for an online course is 3 to 5 modules, and each of those modules can have 3 to 5 points. You can offer the content in a self-paced classroom, or you can offer weekly workshops, for example. 3 to 5 modules or 3 to 5 weeks, this will give you time to connect with your students and develop relationships, and it will keep them engaged. Now, you may be wondering, how do I teach 3 to 5 modules if my book is 23 chapters long? Let's use round numbers. Let's say 21 chapters long. What you can do is you can look at combining chapters, or you can look and decide, can your book be divided into sections? Perhaps your book is really 3 different sections, which means you can either teach each section as a module or each section as its own standalone course. So give that some thought, and the exercises I'm going to be walking you through coming up will help you to determine the best method for you. Now, if you find that you're going to teach 1/3 of your book at a time, you can create next level courses because many students will want to continue on with you, which is exciting because you're building ongoing relationships. So you want to start off by identifying your course modules. If you're basing this on your book, you can base it on your table of contents. But here's the exercise. Create a list of what you'd love to cover and see if you can combine related topics or include topics as part of a module. So here's the overview, and then I'm going to show you how to go through the exercise in just a moment. And then you want to decide on the number of modules you'll provide and what topic you'll cover in each. And as I mentioned earlier, as you go through this exercise, you may find that you get ideas for future courses that go beyond the scope of the current course. So you open up that page in your notebook, or you flip to that page on your clipboard and you jot it down on that page that says future course ideas. You capture the idea and then you focus back in on the course you're creating. So let me walk you through the steps. Here's a simple way to produce course content for your students. Step 1, open up a PowerPoint or Word document file. And if you're on a Mac and have different computer programs, you can open up the equivalent, Keynote and Pages. Step 2, you want to write the topic or title of your course across the top of page 1. Step 3, create an outline and decide on 3 to 5 main modules that you'd like to include in your course. And I'm going to show you this and break it down for you even further as we go along. Then you want to expand your outline. Step 4, dedicate a fresh page for each module. So page 1, you have the title of your course or the topic of your course, and then the list of modules. Page 2, you take module 1 and you list that at the top of page 2. So now you're creating a fresh page for each module. So you write the title of that module 1 at the top of its own page. And then on that page, on page 2, you have the title of module 1, and you list 3 to 5 main points that you'd like to teach in that module. And then while you're on that page and you're thinking on that topic, you want to jot down your ideas and make notes of what you'd like to cover in that section. So here's an example, and then I'm going to give you a blank template that you can work from. So on this slide, I'm demonstrating steps 1 to 3. Step 1, list your title and key points on a fresh page. So my example for a possible course topic would be expand your author reach. So that's the example. Then I'm going to list 3 modules that I'd like to teach in that course. Module 1, create an online course. Module 2, grow your subscriber list. Module 3, expand your reach on social networks. So that's what you write on your first page. Then you take a fresh piece of paper, and each module has its own page with 3 to 5 bullet points per module. So one of my module topics, grow your subscriber list. 3 things that I'd like to teach on that topic. Number 1, create a compelling giveaway. Number 2, set up an opt-in page. And number 3, create a clever way to deliver the giveaway. So on the top of a fresh page, there I have the module topic and 3 things that I'd like to deliver on that topic. And then in step 6, I want to build out the content and to make notes as to what I'll cover in each section. I might come up with examples, ideas, stories. I might get an idea for a checklist or a worksheet, and I would capture all those ideas on that page for that module. And of course, if I needed more room, I would flip the page over or turn to the next page, depending if I was working on the computer or if I was working at my desk on a hard piece of paper. So that's the essence of how you would create your course outline. And as promised, here's a template that you can draw from. Now let's talk about the types of course materials you can include with your course, because there are simple things that you can do to really increase the value of what you're offering your students. Plus, you'll be able to help them to take action on what you're teaching them, and they'll retain the information longer. Studies have shown that providing students with content in a variety of formats allows them to retain more of what they learn. There are visual learners, there are auditory learners, there are people who love to see things in text, and it's been proven that when people write something down, it really increases the retention. There's a saying that goes, the faintest ink is more powerful than the most retentive memory. So I'm going to be sharing with you a variety of multimedia type of materials you can include in your course. By doing this, you'll enrich the learning experience for your students, help them to keep engaged, and you'll add a lot of value to your program. Here are some examples of types of content you can offer. You can offer audio conference calls. Audio conference calls are a fantastic way to create content easily and then be able to provide it to your students so that they can listen to the replay. One of the benefits of adding audio or video content is that your students will connect with you on a deeper level because they'll be able to hear your voice and feel your energy. And this will really enhance their learning experience and increase your learning community. You can also add visuals by adding audio-visual webinars. And then the webinars afterwards become video recordings. You can also create video recordings on your own from your computer without being on a live call, and then provide your students with access to the recordings. In a few minutes, I'm going to share several different ways that you can provide your students with access to your course content. But for now, what we're talking about is adding course materials. You can create a PDF of your slide handouts, and I'm going to show you a couple of examples here today. You can also create PDF action guides. Your action guides can be the transcripts of your audio recordings, though it's not required or necessary for you to provide transcripts unless you want to. A different type of action guide is to provide a description, an overview of what they're learning in that module or in that section, and then include worksheets and checklists so they can capture what it is that they're learning. And then they'll be able to have that in writing long term. Checklists and worksheets are wonderful tools to walk your students step by step through a process. You can easily create attractive course materials that your students will love. What you want to do is create the materials, and any written material that you create, save it in PDF format. You do not want to give your students access to Word files. First of all, it's scary for them to download. Also, you're giving them the editable content, so you're much better off giving them the content in PDF format. Oftentimes when students click on a PDF link online, it will open up to a new web page. So it makes it really easy for them to access the content. It's also really attractive. And again, I'm going to show you a couple of examples here in just a moment. You can include images and borders and action steps. You can add colorful header text, and you can really personalize and brand your handouts to add pizzazz. When you do that, it will draw your students in and they'll be more likely to go through the content. So you want to make it attractive, and you can do that easily. It doesn't have to be fancy or in-depth. A simple border to a page, a simple color to a header text, a simple image, even if it's your business logo. That will keep your students engaged. And you hear me saying that a lot, but that's what you want. We all are inundated with so much information. You really want to make it easy for your students to dive in and stay focused. So when creating an action guide from a Word document, what you want to do is save the pages in PDF format as you would any Word file. And so it'll be, for example, an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. When you're creating content for PowerPoint handouts, you do not want to give people the full slides for several reasons. First of all, you're giving them your presentation, so you don't want to do that. And also, it's not likely that people will print out 30 pages and use up a lot of colored ink. On the other hand, it's really easy to create slide handouts with 3 slides to a page with room for notes, and I'll show you what that looks like. So the left-hand image, that's an example of a worksheet. And you see that I have a background with where I've added a little color, and I have a border around the edge. You want to leave a lot of white space. You want to carefully read through your questions and make sure it's really clear what it is you're asking, and make it really inviting and easy for your students to consume and go through and take action with your worksheets and your checklists. And then on the right-hand side, that's an example of slide handouts. In PowerPoint, you can save what they call slide handouts, which are 3 slides to a page. And it makes it really easy for students to print out, because then they have a place to capture their notes, and they have a way to remember what it is that they learned in your presentation. And if you're recording a PowerPoint presentation as a video, they'll have that as support material. This is another idea. Let's say you don't want to record videos. Well, what you can do is record audios or invite your students to a conference call and then give them the slide handouts to follow along. Now, there are 2 free conference calling services that I would recommend, so you may want to write down these URLs. The first is freeconferencecalling.com, freeconferencecalling.com. It's easy to use. You can provide easy links to your students where they can access the recordings, and it makes a wonderful online classroom environment. If you want to offer live calls, you can even have an interactive feature. And that's for US-based callers. Another service which can be used in the US as well as internationally is called freeconferencecall.com, without the ing, freeconferencecall.com. Now, visually, it doesn't look as fancy, but it has a better sound quality for the audio recordings, and you can offer a visual component if you want to show your slides, and people can call in from anywhere in the world. So there you have several ideas and examples for adding multimedia materials for your course. Now let's talk about ways that you can deliver your course content. There are many options to choose from. A few minutes ago, I spoke about recording your conference calls, whether you're calling in on your own or you're inviting your students to live calls, and then you can provide them with a link to the replay. That is really easy. Some conference call services allow you to provide a phone number that people can call in and listen to the replay. The downside, or the thing to be aware of with the calling in to listen to the replay, is once you record a new call, that previous replay is erased. However, most conference call services allow you to provide your listeners with a link so they can go and just click the link and listen online. And And they even have the ability to download the audio to their computer so they can listen from their computer or their phone or their whatever listening device they listen to their recordings on. So that's one option. You can deliver your course content via email delivery. Your entire course can be email content where you have short paragraphs broken up with white space. Be sure to include bullet points. Don't make it too long. I would have an introductory paragraph. I would have a key point with a couple of bullet points. I would have an ending paragraph of 2 or 3 sentences, and then I would have action steps. And I would have a bold header for each section, and then use that same template for each module of your course. And you could deliver, for example, a 7-day e-course via email. So that's one option. You can also use email to let people know about your live conference calls, and you can send out an email to let them know how to access the replay. So email is a wonderful tool in your course creation tool belt. Another way to deliver course content is via a Facebook group. You can upload content to Facebook. You can't upload huge files, but you can post a link to the audio replays. A few years back, I ran a group coaching program where each week I posted a link to the live conference call and the replay, and it was all in the Facebook group. So that's another way to deliver course content. You can create a password-protected page on your website, and you give all of your students the same password, and they use that to log in, and then you can have the content posted on your website. That may be something that you're proficient in, or that may be a task that you want to outsource. So that's another viable way of providing access to your course content. And then my favorite is to offer an online classroom platform. And there are many to choose from WordPress plugins to online platforms such as Teachable. Teachable is the name of the platform. And whether you're using a WordPress plugin or an online classroom platform such as Teachable, what that does is it password protects your content. So only people with a password, with their very own password, so it's unique to each person, can access your content. And there's a payment processor so you can take payment at the same time. So that makes it really easy for you to set up an actual classroom experience. So depending on what your goals are and where you are in the process of offering online courses to your community, you can start with one of these options and you can shift gears. Or if you know that you're going to be creating courses long term, having created, taught, and delivered over 30 courses in the last 10 years, I've done most of that on WordPress. And in the past couple of years, I've switched over to Teachable. And the reason I've switched over to Teachable is I've found that that's the easiest platform to teach other people how to use. So here you have some options to consider and explore. So take some time and reflect on your goals to help you decide how you'll deliver your course content. And if offering online courses is something you are serious about pursuing, I would encourage you to consider hosting your course on an online classroom platform so that you have a built-in payment processor so that each student gets their own unique login, and so that you have an easy way to provide access to content to your students. As I mentioned, Teachable is one of the most popular online classroom platforms, and it's really easy to add your course content there. They also provide you with a sales page, so you have a way to write up what your course is about so people can click a button and you can collect fees from your students. So as we get ready to wrap up, I have some hot tips to help you move forward and some action steps. Think about this. Creating an online course is like putting together a jigsaw puzzle. You want to start by creating the framework. Unless you're a wizard, you can't wave your wand and have the puzzle be put together with one swoop. So a common way to put together a jigsaw puzzle is by putting the frame together first. Well, you want to do the same thing with your online course, and the exercises that we went through today will help you to set up your framework. Then focus on putting one piece at a time in place. There are a lot of moving parts to putting together an online course and setting up an online classroom. However, you can create a master list and then set that list aside and focus just on the piece that you're focusing on at that time, one piece at a time. That will make the experience more enjoyable and less overwhelming. And then concentrate on one section at a time. And again, refer back to the exercises we went through today to help you with this. And then another important piece, if not one of the most important pieces, is to actually dedicate time to completing the project, to creating your course. And what I recommend is that you open up your calendar, and depending on how determined you are, I would say that if you want to create a course at some point in the next 6 months, pick one time a week to focus on working on your course. If you want to get a course up and running in 30 days, open up your calendar and pick 3 time slots. For example, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday evenings from 7 to 9, or whatever your schedule dictates. And keep that appointment with yourself as you would an appointment with your best client, because 30 days will come and go and you can have a course created in that time, or you can still be thinking about perhaps creating a course. If you put it in your calendar and you treasure that time and you really dive in and focus on one piece at a time, you will have a course created and you'll be able to begin enrolling your students and connecting with your audience at a deeper level. So we spoke about creating an online classroom. And while that is a piece of the puzzle, I'm going to encourage you to put that on the back burner for now. Because once your course starts to develop, you're going to be more excited about setting up an online classroom. At this point, I think it would be a distraction. For now, focus on creating the content first. So don't get bogged down with the details as to how you'll deliver your course content. You can refer back to this training. You can refer back to your notes. Right now, we're focusing on the puzzle piece of creating your course content. So begin by developing your course idea and creating your course content. From there, you can focus on course delivery options so you can begin enrolling students. So what topic are you thinking of for your course? And to help you with that, here are some action steps. And as you create your course, I recommend that you have a few action steps at the end of each of your modules that kind of wraps up what they learned in that training and will help them to take action. So here are some action steps for you. First of all, decide on your course topic. Do some writing and get clear about how your students will benefit. That's an important one, and I think it will really help you in your course creation journey. Then create your course outline, pick a name for your course, and then develop the content for your first module. I recommend creating your course one module at a time, take it all the way to completion before going on to the next module. That's going to allow you to accomplish a great deal. And while your mind is wrapped around a certain topic, you don't have to be thinking 3 modules ahead. Focus just on that module. See it all the way through to completion, and then move on to the next module. And as we discussed, schedule time. Open up your calendar, maybe right now while you're thinking about it, so that you prioritize creating your course content one module at a time. I want to thank you for being here today, and I hope you found this training helpful. I'm going to encourage you to take action, spend some time writing, perhaps right now while it's on your mind. Go through those exercises and think about all of the people that you can help. Think about all of the books that you can sell. Think about the ways that you can grow your business and your income by offering online courses. And as I like to say, here's to your success.